Chorus and the New Thought Messengers. Previews of coming attractions. It's good. The music is so good. Hello. Let's do that again. Hello. Oh, that was great. I even heard those of you online. Hi, everyone. I'm Shannon O'Hurley. Hi, Susie. Hi, dear heart. I am the senior minister here at the New Thought Center for Spiritual Living, and I am so grateful to be with you this day that love has made. I had a new discovery this week about enlightenment. I'm going to talk about that a little bit later. I'm so excited to share with you. So I want to take a moment and thank Carol Scott and practitioner Cindy Gomez, who are our online hosts. Today, they are putting all the info in the chat box and all of that good stuff. So thank you to both of you for holding that space so beautifully for our online community. I also want to thank all of you who decided to be here today. This is a really special day. We have our artisan fair downstairs after service, all kinds of amazing, handmade crafts and yummy things and all the wonderful. I even have it on good authority that Santa Claus is going to be there for photos. It's great. It's going to be a really fun day. And NTCSL Colorado, speaking of fun days, are gathering in person. So our satellite campus in Colorado are gathering in person, watching this together in real time. Mwah, love you all so very much. Let's turn around and wave to them just so that they really feel the love that is right here in the room. What a blessing to be together from all corners of the globe. What a blessing indeed. What a gift. What a gift. So if you are new or newish, please know that you have stepped into an inclusive, progressive, compassionate, spiritual community. We are dedicated to doing our own inner work and then walking that out into the world to help make this world a better place for all people everywhere. There's more information available to you if you would like it on our tables here in the lobby and downstairs. Speaking of our tables, our welcome team today, I want to thank Cindy Koski and Ginny Perelson who are at our welcome table. So if you are brand new and you want more information and it feels like, because there's a lot going on, that's the place. It's the one-stop shop, the welcome table in the lobby. They will let you know, or you can put your question in the chat box, and one of our online moderators will answer any questions that you may have. So this is the time in the service where we, here in Lake Oswego, we take a moment and we just take a breath, and we honor that right here we are on the indigenous land of the Kalapuya people, and we affirm indigenous history, experiences, and sovereignty. This is also the time where we like to, with one voice, as you are comfortable, share our vision and our mission. So please join with me. Our vision, recognizing our oneness, we envision a world that works for everyone and all creation, and our mission, providing spiritual tools for personal and global transformation. And here, as well as online, if you haven't yet silenced your cell phones, even if you are watching this or listening to this later in the week, I'm going to invite you to just take a moment and silence your cell phones. I know some of you take notes on your phone. That's great. But let's silence those phones so we can be fully present here. Speaking of presence here, I want to invite our beloved practitioner, Barbara Buckingham Hayes, up for our opening blessing.
So I invite all of us to just receive another breath in and settle into this time and space. Breathe into that place at the center of your being where there is only one. How good it is to be here in conscious spiritual community. How good it is to know that there is a spirit of life, a spirit of love that called each one of us here today. And that spirit of love is alive, living through each one here, living through all the activities of this day in this spiritual community, how good it is to know that this spirit of love is moving through the beautiful music, the song that uplifts our souls, is moving through the technical skill that brings forth this beautiful service here in this room and across the miles to our online community. The spirit of love is moving through those beautiful souls who welcomed us in this morning and who are accompanying our youth and children through the hospitality we receive in the community hall today, for the loving prayer support of the practitioners, and for the gift of the message that Rev Shannon brings forth today, bringing a little more light into our awareness. So it is such a beautiful blessing upon all of these activities. And the Artisan Fair, add those beings in who have been creating and bringing forth their gifts so that we may share in that. For all of this blessing and so much more, I simply give thanks. I let it go, I let it be, and so it is. Blessed be. And now, this is a time where, stand as you are able, we will enter into our meditation to music. Thank you.
Oh, let this great power wash through. Oh, let this great power wash through. I don't have to wonder what to say or what to do. Just let this great power wash through. Oh, let me see God's light in you. Oh, let me see God's light in you. I don't have to seek to see the truth. Just let me see God's light in you. Oh, let this great power wash through. Oh, let this great power wash through. I don't have to wonder what to say, what to do. Just let this great power wash through. And so it is.
Good morning. The following is from the beloved author, scholar, and Franciscan priest, Richard Rohr. I believe God gives us our soul, our deepest identity, true self, our unique blueprint at our own conception. Our unique little bit of heaven is installed within the product by the manufacturer at the very beginning. We are given a span of years to discover it, choose it, and live our destiny to the fullest. We are charged to awaken. Much of the work of spirituality is learning how to stay out of the way of this natural growing and awakening. And as we get older, we need to unlearn a lot. We are here to remember that our deepest identity is love. We are here to awaken to this love and to let this love that is our soul lead the way. And so it is.
Thank you, John. Now, please help me welcome Darcy Bradley.
When I'm out of hope, so lost and afraid, when I'm in the dark and can't seem to find my way, when I'm feeling lonely in the dead of the night, I remember the promise, well, you will be my light, my light, you will be my light. You will be my light when the sun don't shine, telling me everything's gonna be alright, alright, alright. You will be my light. I've tried on my own strength, but I just slip and fall. Put my faith in the wrong things. Turns out after all, you're the answer to every problem. You're my grace when I hit the bottom. The lamp under my feet. Oh Lord, let it shine. Well, you will be my light. My light. You will be my light. My light. You will be my light when the sun don't shine, telling me everything's gonna be alright, alright, alright. You will be my light. You will be my light. You're the way when my feet can't find it. You're the truth when my head is lying. You're my life when my heart is dying. You will be my light. You're my truth when my feet can't find it. You're my truth when my head is lying. You're my life when my heart is dying. You will be my light. You will be my light. My light. You will be my light when the sun won't shine, telling me everything's gonna be alright, alright, alright. You will be my light.
Thank you so much. You will be my. Can I just say, is Darcy our light or what? Thank you. Thank you. And Kate, And Kate. Thank you, Kate. And the New Thought Messengers. Thank you. Oh, I love December. I love all the things. Even when it's hard, I love this time of year. There's so much richness. In our community, I just want to show you our interfaith altar here. I'm going to step down. I'm going slow so Shayla can follow me with the camera so it's not too, okay. So we normally have our interfaith altar on that side on the floor all year round. And in the month of December, we bring it up. We like elevate it on the steps so that you all can see it. Because there are so many incredible faith traditions that celebrate that light, that love, that grace. And so much of New Thought comes from the mystical teachings, the mystical aspects of so many of the world's religions. And while the yearly calendar is different, so it's not always the same every December, there are some that are the same, which I'm going to get to in a moment. But I just wanted to share with you, that is what this is, and that is what we celebrate, our mystical roots in this metaphysical teaching of ours. And we still have, back in November, beginning of November, we had a ritual and we lit a candle for all 50 states and all of the people in all of the 50 states. And I decided that we're going to keep that lit in honor of all of our siblings in every state. Does that sound good? Yeah. So those are our New Thought altars, if you will. So for those of you who are just joining us, last week we had the Hope candle on the Advent wreath lit, and it's from the Christian tradition Advent, which is the 4 weeks leading up to Christmas. And I talked a lot about active hope last week, not wimpy hope, but active hope. And so if you are missed that, or if you are feeling today like you could use some hope, I invite you into that talk. You can find it online and all the places where we have it, so I invite you into that. So this week, on our interfaith altar, we've added on our Advent wreath from the Christian tradition, and we have lit the second candle representing love. So we have hope and love represented here on our altar. And we are also honoring, you'll see right next to our Advent wreath there, the Buddha. And we are honoring the Buddhist holiday Bodhi Day and how the twain shall meet. It's very exciting how these things come together. Speaking of today, December 8th is Bodhi Day, and Buddhists all over the world celebrate Bodhi Day. It's also called Rohatsu in Japan, and this celebrates the Buddha's enlightenment. So, as the story goes, after leading a very sheltered and privileged life of a prince, one day Siddhartha Gautama ventured outside the glittering palace gates, and for the very first time in his entire life, he witnessed suffering and pain and fear in the world. He was devastated by the hunger and the poverty and the death that he saw. He wanted to understand human suffering. So in almost a fairy tale-esque hero's journey, he renounced his former life as a prince of privilege and wealth, and he became an ascetic. And what that meant is that for many, many years, he was on a spiritual quest, if you will. He wandered India, searching for the meaning of life. He wanted to understand suffering, but to no avail, and he tried everything. He tried everything. Anybody? Spiritual journey, trying thing, just, okay. He tried everything. That was for me, because that was me. I tried every single thing there was. So then after many, many years, disheartened at finding nothing, he could not find any of answers to the big questions of life, he finally decided to just sit down, close his eyes, breathe, and meditate. For most of the stories say 49 days. There's one that says 49 years, but that's a bit outlandish. The general understanding is 49 days. He sat under the Bo tree, now known as the Bodhi tree. And while he was under the Bo tree, he was tempted, I'm putting air quotes for those of you who are listening to this, tempted by many material and worldly things. And we understand now, of course, that this was merely his ego, his shadow side that was so terrified at the unconditional love that awaited him on the other side of his enlightenment. His ego tried everything to disrupt his resolve to turn within for the answers instead of outward for the answers. Now, to read the accounts, it talks about the, again, air quotes, demons, as they called them back then, as they called the ego and shadow side thousands of years ago, tempting him with food and women and addictions and all things that were scary and fear of all sorts and distractions of all sorts. And this part of the story reads to me sort of like a 49-day dark night of the soul for Siddhartha. But in the end, his resolve and his resilience towards something greater than all of those earthly temptations won. And when those shadowed ego voices stopped from within him, Siddhartha got up from the Bodhi tree, and as legend has it, he was completely transformed. As the story goes, he had valiantly fought his inner battles and reached enlightenment. He did not achieve this seeking outside of himself, but rather turning within. It was at this point that he was then forever called the Buddha, and his ministry began, and this Buddha consciousness spread all over the world. And so today, we can consider Bodhi Day, the day that Buddhism was born. And it brought with it a heightened concept and understanding of enlightenment. That when we get quiet and we remember the power of love within us, we experience enlightenment. This made me think, you know how little ones ask the grown-ups around them to tell that story over and over again? I think I read Goodnight Moon 5,000 times. I had 4 little girls who are all young women now. I swear that book is just like still in my brain. The reason that children do this, the reason that they ask us to keep reading the same story over and over again is it goes along with building their vocabulary. Repeating the story helps them internalize information. And when children hear the same story multiple times, the neural connections in their brains associated with that story become stronger and make it easier to recall and understand the information later on. Now, for those of you who've been around for a while, you know that I retell the timeless story of the Buddha every December 8th, or right around there, because the same is true of us grown-ups. As adults, when we hear, especially, I believe, a story that has rich spiritual teaching to it, the neural connections in our brains associated with that spiritual teaching in that story become stronger, and they become more clear. And this is why so often, and any practitioner student will tell you this, we hear or we read the same passage of a spiritual text and we get something new every single time. Every single time. It's not that the story or the passage is new. It's that we have grown and we are in a new place to receive the wisdom and the story even more deeply. So as I prepared my offering or my talk for you today, and I revisited this timeless story of Siddhartha's journey to his inner wisdom, what struck me this year more than ever before was that his enlightenment was not this sort of dun 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 moment. Not at all. The sky didn't open. He didn't levitate under the Bodhi tree. At least there's no account of that. He got up and he walked forward. It was actually the most normal thing. His enlightenment was the most normal thing. And every one of you have had moments, life moments, when you just get something. Do you know what I'm talking about? The situation or the thing becomes so crystal clear. Finally, you say no to that addiction or that behavior that is no longer serving you. Or you say yes to that relationship or that job. Or you say no to that relationship or that job. Or you decide to move to that place. It is time. Or you go back to school, or you start practitioner training or marathon training, or you get so clear that it is time, in fact, to retire or to write your book. Whatever it is, in that precious moment of clarity, and you've all had it, yes? You've all had those turning points. In that moment, I want you to tap into what that felt like, because you, my love, experienced your very own normal moment of enlightenment. That is what enlightenment is. Enlightenment is not reserved for the saints and sages and gurus and spiritual teachers and folks who can somehow sit on a cushion and meditate for 12 hours straight. The experience of enlightenment is actually practical spirituality. And we talk about that a lot here. And I sincerely hope that I don't offend any of my conservative Buddhist friends with this revelation of mind. But the more that I leaned into this idea, because some conservative Buddhists would have a different take on that, and we honor all paths here. But for me personally, as a lifelong student of New Thought, the more I leaned into this idea, the more evident it became to me that every single one of us is here to experience everyday enlightenment. Everyday enlightenment in the smallest aha ways and the largest aha ways. According to the original Buddhist texts and teachings, the Buddha believed that enlightenment is attainable for all beings, meaning anyone can reach a state of liberation through following a spiritual path, regardless of their background or their circumstances. And that was a lot to say back then, given the caste system. The core belief of Buddhism is that it emphasizes that the potential for enlightenment exists within every individual. In Mahayana Buddhism, for example, there is this core idea that all beings can become Buddhas. Isn't that beautiful? Another master teacher, Jesus of Nazareth, who walked the earth 600 years after the Buddha, said, "These things I have done, you will do, and greater." Now, while this word enlightenment isn't explicitly used in the Christian Bible as it is in the Buddhist teachings, many scholars and theologians see Jesus' teachings as referring to the concept, the very same concept of enlightenment, often described as a state of spiritual awareness or oneness with God or the divine. Enlightenment is also, for example, a central concept in Hinduism. It's referred to as moksha, where it signifies the realization of one's true nature as part of universal consciousness. Enlightenment, oh, the hair, sorry. Hang on, there we go. Gotta get out of my way. We're talking enlightenment today, come on now. That's right. We're very serious up here. Enlightenment, my friends, is a central concept in Sikhism. In Taoism, enlightenment refers to the state of becoming one with the Tao. In the Baha'i faith, enlightenment is also considered a key concept. The concept of enlightenment is present within Islam, often referred to as an Islamic enlightenment. The concept of enlightenment is prevalent in many earth-based religions, particularly those that emphasize harmony with nature, where achieving a deep, deep understanding and connection of the natural world is often seen as a form of enlightenment. So this idea of enlightenment came to the planet for all of us, not just Buddhists or monks or nuns. And here, let me tell you, here is where I really nerded out. Because, and I love this, in every tradition that I found, without exception, in every single one of them, enlightenment comes just like the Buddha taught when we turn within to spirit or source. You can call it whatever you choose. But when we connect with the divine, that is when we are primed to experience enlightenment. It never, ever, ever, ever happens outside of ourselves. It's one of the reasons here in our community we teach meditation. It's such a huge part of our spiritual practice. It's a huge piece of this. In every class that I teach, that we have, that Shelley teaches, we consistently, every week in every class, provide spiritual tools for you starting from the inside out. And yet we live in this society that is completely 100% the opposite, right? It's about the outside in. And so much of this journey of enlightenment, I believe, is peeling back the layers of the onion and beginning to understand that nothing on the outside will enlighten us. There's nothing that I can say up here that is going to provide enlightenment. It's how you internalize it. It's how you take it in. And then how you live it in the world, how you practice it in the world. So what does this actually mean to achieve enlightenment? Many of us have been given or seen sort of lofty ideas that once someone achieves enlightenment, they suddenly start speaking in hushed tones and wearing various shades of white, and they exist on kale, beans, and berries. That is all fine. That has nothing to do with enlightenment. Nothing. It's the farthest thing from it. First of all, I think the most liberating fact about enlightenment is that it doesn't erase our humanity, our realness, and our messiness. We know that the Buddha got irritated and angry. We know Jesus of Nazareth and Guru Nanak and Baha'u'llah and Muhammad, peace be upon him, had moments of despair and anger and frustration. The thing that I have come to is that what makes enlightenment so special is that it is not a destination. It is an ongoing, breath by breath process that is so very human. So there's a story that I love. It's thousands of years old. And it's a story, as so many of the stories from thousands of years ago, about a young monk and an elder monk. And so this young monk, much like Siddhartha, travels the land trying to discover for himself enlightenment. And he doesn't see it anywhere. He goes to all of the different monasteries. He goes to all the holy sites. He doesn't see enlightenment. And he's so discouraged, and he's going back home, and he's walking along his path, and he sees a much, much older monk. And this monk has this huge, heavy sack, this heavy load that he's carrying on his back, and he's humped all the way over. He's stumped all the way down, and he's walking very, very slowly. The load is very, very heavy. And the young monk comes up to him, he looks at him, and lo and behold, he sees wisdom in his eyes, even though this monk is tired and this is a very heavy load he's carrying. And the young monk interrupts the older monk on the path, and he says, "Excuse me, but I see wisdom in your eyes. Sorry to bother you, but could you please show me what enlightenment looks like?" And the older monk, the heavy load, looks up at him and says, and he puts his heavy load down, and he lets go, and he stands up, and he shakes off the pain in his shoulders and his back. And suddenly the younger monk sees that the older monk is much taller than he thought. And the young monk looks up at him, and he sees the older monk, once he releases this heavy load, he starts to seemingly glow. And he smiles and his eyes are clear. And he looks right at the young monk and doesn't say a word. And the young monk says, "Oh, I get it. Enlightenment is when you let go of what is heavy for you. You let go of your burdens and your pain and your sorrow and your fear. You let go of that which is pulling you down." And the elder monk just nods. And the young monk says to him, "So then what happens after enlightenment?" And the elder monk looks at him and he leans down and he picks up and he gives him a little wink and off he goes. In other words, our enlightenment arrives in moments of awareness and deep connection to the love within us and all around us. But then, just like for all of the great sages and spiritual teachers and elder monks that have walked the planet, the messiness of being human steps in. And once again, we carry that heavy load for a while until we remember that we can set it down and we can take a breath and we can stand tall and we can remember that love is right with us and we can allow it to wash over us. But sometimes I know that it can be hard. It can be hard to remember to set down our burdens, our worries, our fears, especially right now. It can be hard to remember to set aside our concerns. We get so used to carrying them along our path. We get so used to it that they become a part of us. And this is what keeps us from our enlightenment. That's what keeps us from our enlightenment. The other day, my heart was feeling heavy. My heart was feeling heavy about something, and my sister Kelly, who is a practitioner here, happened to call me just at that time. Have you ever had that, where a friend or a loved one calls you just when you need it the most? Oh, it's like, "Hi, God, thanks for calling. I really need you right now." Because she called me at that perfect time. My bestie has a knack for that too. She does as well. You know, just when I was carrying this load and it was becoming too heavy, I needed to lay that burden down. I needed to remember my way back to love or the universe or God or spirit or source or whatever word you're comfortable with. And it was in that moment that my sister Kelly called me. And just by hearing her voice, just by her being present with me, I was able to let that go. I was able to exhale. I was able to bring myself back to center. So I want to tell you, if your heart is feeling heavy about anything right now, please consider calling a trusted friend or a loved one or talking to a practitioner or a therapist. Because during your conversation with that person that you trust, you will feel a weight lifted, because right in front of you, that person who is supporting you, you will see the sweet face of God. We are that for each other, the face of God, the face of the divine. We are here together in spiritual community to say, "Let me take that from you. You don't have to hold that." And perhaps you could be this for someone else this week, you know? Perhaps you could call someone that you love or that you know that is struggling or going through something, and you could be their angel. You could be their harbinger of truth. You don't have to even say anything spiritual. You can just say, "I'm here for you." What's on your heart? Share with me what's on your heart. And that, in that moment, will not only be a moment of enlightenment for the person, but for you as well. That's how it works. We become enlightened as we serve others. It's literally a two-way enlightenment relationship. So we get quiet, we turn within, and if it's too heavy, we reach out to someone we love, and we ask them to carry our burden for us for just a few moments. That's how it works. There's a famous Zen Buddhist saying that is very, very old. It goes, before enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. After enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. Let's normalize enlightenment, just like all of the great teachers and the faith paths taught us to do. As we do this, our light becomes brighter. It doesn't become something far away that we have to seek all the time. It's right here. It's in spiritual community. It's within each one of us. Enlightenment doesn't happen to us. We participate in it. Let me say that again. Enlightenment doesn't happen to us. We participate in it. The fact that you're here today or online or listening later in the week is evidence that you are participating in your own spiritual evolution and enlightenment. Because here's the thing, the very same love, this love that we are honoring this week, the very same love that was at the center of the Buddha and Jesus of Nazareth and St. Catherine of Siena and Lao Tzu and Guru Nanak and Hildegard von Bingen and Zoroaster and Baha'u'llah and on and on and on. The same love, the same unconditional divine love that was at the center of them is at the center of every single one of you and everyone out in the world. Everyone out in the world. The Buddha said, the way is not in the sky, it is in the heart. The way is not in the sky, it is in the heart. And like Siddhartha, in all of his messy, egoic humanness, sitting under that bo tree thousands of years ago, when we make the decision to turn within, to our heart, to that place within us that is unconditional love, we too can remember that we are all of us God's stuff. We are all of God. We are all of the same love, the same stardust. It is not reserved for the few. This love belongs to every sentient being, and enlightenment, moment by moment, breath by breath, is our birthright. From our reading earlier today that John did so beautifully, Father Richard Rohr writes, love is our deepest identity. Love is our deepest identity. And we have multiple identities, but love is the deepest. This love is ours to remember. And my friends, when we can remember this love, which has nothing heavy about it, remember that. The love is not heavy like the load we carry. When we remember this love, that Spirit guides us on our way, along our path, knowing that it is the love, in fact, that carries our burdens. It might be carried through a friend or a practitioner, but it's actually love that carries it. We experience our very own, very real, very authentic, ongoing enlightenment. So this week, I invite you to consider those aha moments that you have as moments of spiritual enlightenment. Because the more that you begin to lean into that, whatever it may be for you, the more you begin to connect that your life is spiritual. The whole of it is spiritual. This is what it means to live a spiritual life. Let's pray. I invite the practitioners to come down. Thank you. I invite the practitioners to come down and support this in anchored prayer. I invite the practitioners online to move into prayer with me. And I invite everyone to just take a moment, close your eyes if you're comfortable, or you can gaze downward at a fixed spot with a soft gaze, whatever's more comfortable for you. I invite you to take in that Vipassana breath. It's an inhale, and then it goes all the way to the very top, and then exhale all the way out. Make this sound. It's just us. Expelling all the air out of your lungs. This reduces the anxiety in the physical body. Let's do that one more time. It is with this breath that I recognize the one divine power that is unconditional love that lives and breathes within the center of me and the center of each one of us. It is the most true thing about us. This love is our deepest identity. And what I know is that this love is available to hold our burdens, to give us the spaciousness to set them down, if even for just a moment, to stand tall and remember the truth of our being, that we are here on purpose. We are here in this miracle of life to be this love for ourselves and every being we come into contact with. What a blessing this is, and how simple this is. To remember love, to just remember. Love is the most true thing about each of us. And so in this, I give so much thanks knowing that each one of us this week goes out and experiences modern day, everyday, normal, authentic enlightenment. These moments of clarity and grace. It's not complicated. It's God, it's Spirit moving through us. It's enlightenment as our birthright. And I celebrate this for each one of us this week. And I know with my whole being that love walks with us in every step, breathes the breath we breathe. This love is between the breaths. That is how profound it is. And so in this next breath, on behalf of each one of us, I know that this same exact love is with our friends and our family that are friends, that our family, this love, this circle of love, people that we have not yet even met, knowing this love is with them too. I bless all people who gather this day, this week in mosques and churches and centers for spiritual living and synagogues and ashrams and temples, prayer circles and hikes and yoga mats, kitchen tables, knowing that this same love is at the center of all of them too. What a blessing it is to know this one human family. This one human family is birthed from love itself, called God, Spirit, Source, by so many names. It is love. It lives within us, this indwelling Spirit, and it is all around us, and all the beings we see, the sounds we hear. This enlightenment is for each of us every day. And so it is from this place of grace and knowing this authentic spirituality that we get to be in and live in and grow in, leads us forth. I'm so filled with gratitude for this and for so much more. I release my word. I allow it to be and to become. And so it is. Blessed, blessed be. Amen. Oh, I just love you so much. Thank you. Thanks. So this is the time in our service. Our ushers are coming down forward. I know many of you are monthly pledgers. I'm a monthly pledger. Many of you mail in your checks, or you can text to give. Our number here, 503-966-3236. There's also a QR code right there in front of you. However you give, I just want to say thank you. No gift is too small or too large. We exist only because of what you give. So thank you to those of you here. Thank you those of you online. What a blessing to be in circulation, to co-create this experience together. I'm so grateful. So let us together with one voice speak our blessing. From the love of pure spirit within me, I bless this gift. I send it forth to heal and bless and prosper. It does good work in the world and returns to me multiplied abundantly. And so it is. Amen.
trust, love, love can move
mountains. Please stand and join us as you're able. There ain't a dream that don't have the chance to come true now. It just takes a little faith, yeah, yeah. Anything that we want to do, we can do now. There ain't nothing in our way, yeah, yeah. Nothing our love couldn't rise above. We can get through the night, we can get through the light. Long as we got a love to light the way, yeah, 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 yeah. With a little faith, just a little trust. If you believe in love, when love can move mountains, believe in your heart, feel it in your soul. And love can move mountains. Well, oceans deep and mountains high, they can't stop us because love is on our side, yeah, yeah. We can reach the heavens and touch the sky. Just believe in you and I, yeah, yeah. If we got love that is strong enough, we can do anything, we can through anything. Through it all, love will always find a way. Yeah, 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 yeah. With a little faith, just a little trust. If you believe in love, love can move mountains. Believe in your heart, feel it in your soul. And love can move mountains. Yeah, you got to feel it, yeah, yeah. Ooh, yeah, 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 yeah. You believe in me, and I believe in you. If we believe in each other, there's nothing we can do. If we got love that is strong enough, we'll find a way. With a little faith, just a little trust. If you believe in love, love can move mountains. Believe in your heart, feel it in your soul. And love can move mountains. Yeah, you got to feel it, baby. With a little love, yeah. You got to feel it, yeah, yeah. Love can move mountains.
Whoa, love can move mountains. Yeah. So it's the holiday season, so there are many announcements today. So, B, lead us off.
Thanks, Barbara. I'm going to start off thanking my friend Susie for the borrow. She had sparkle. I am here to talk about the fantastic Giving Tree program we have, and I want to say thank you, first off. We have done magnificently. It started off with the 2 trees with tons and tons of tags, and thank you for your generosity. We are supporting several families in our community, as well as we are partnering this year with the Raphael House. This is the coolest thing. The Raphael House of Portland, they support people who are impacted by domestic violence and are escaping domestic violence. And this program is amazing. They support everyone, and to include the family pets, which is near and dear to me. And so if you see the tags on the tree, one of the things with people escaping from domestic violence, they're not at choice in many, many aspects of their lives, or their choices are at just in an emergency mode. And one of the things that the $25 gift cards are doing is allowing parents to purchase the gifts for their children. They're making choices. And so not only is there the gift in the actual gift card that you all are giving for them, it's the gift of choice, which is even bigger than that card. But I want to say thank you in advance for all that you're doing to support our families here in our community, as well as the Raphael House. Check out their website. It's amazing what they do. At any rate, happy holidays, everybody.
Thank you, B. Awesome. So today, as Reverend Shannon said, the Artisan Fair is happening downstairs. Please go down. There'll be jewelry, pottery, there'll be massage, there'll be crafts of all kinds, caroling, and Santa, and a photograph, professional photographs for anybody who wants to catch that. So please go downstairs and see how God is co-creating with us in all sorts of ways. Then next week on Sunday from 12:30 to 2:30, our own Reverend Sally Rudis is doing a grief, honoring our grief and making room for love. Reverend Sally has offered this in the last few years. It's like such a wonderful thing during the holidays when sometimes grief, sadness, disappointment can come up. This is an opportunity to come together and to witness each other and that return to love. So there'll be food downstairs before, so you can grab some lunch, and then it's a love offering. So thank you, Reverend Sally, for that. Then give yourself or somebody you love the spiritual gift of growth through our spiritual community. So NTCSL is offering an annual holiday special, early bird pricing for two wonderful upcoming events. One is a new CSL certified class that Reverend Shannon has taken and tailored it specifically for our community, and it's 6 weeks, called The Mystical Path. And it delves into the richness of mysticism and teaches us all how to create our own life in the same path that all the other mystical teachers have done. So the course will begin on Tuesday, the January 14th, and run through February 18th, 6:30 to 8:30, either in person or online. And so you can get, if you register before by December 22nd, you get a 10% discount on that class. And then the spring meditation retreat is the other offering that this year Reverend Shannon will be facilitating that retreat at a beautiful retreat center, Alton Collins, here in Sandy, Oregon, outside of Sandy, on March 28th through the 30th. And the beautiful offering is that it's a holiday gift, $25 off the registration for the first 25 people. So that registration is moving right along. So if you would like to either gift yourself or another that beautiful retreat, it counts for a prerequisite course. It's a certified course. So if you're looking to continue on practitioner studies, it's a wonderful way to do that. And then our beautiful holiday candlelight service will be happening on Friday, December 20th at 7 p.m. So there'll be childcare, and it is going to be beautiful. It is always, I know for Kevin and I, that was always a very important part of our holiday, was to come to the candlelight service. And then if you ordered poinsettias but you haven't gotten them, they'll be down in the community hall. So thank you for supporting the family and youth ministry through the poinsettia sale. I think that's
All right. Thank you so much.
I think that's all.
Thank you, love. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And can I just add something? For those of you who've been around here for a long time, do you remember Matthew Snyder? Little Matthew Snyder? He had this voice of an angel, incredible. He's all grown up. He happens to be Carolyn's grandson, and he is joining us for Candlelight. He's 24 now. Can you imagine what his voice is like now? He's going to join us for Candlelight. Isn't that great? So those of you who don't know, just know he's phenomenal. He's been in New York. He's done all the sort of all kinds of wonderful theater things there, musical theater things. So exciting, so exciting. I want to thank all of you once again. Those of you who are here in person, those of you online, thank you so much for being with us today to help co-create this experience. I also want to take a moment and thank, we had incredible little elves who came by and cleaned the grounds. Did you notice how, if you were in the grounds cleaning up, if you are here, will you stand so we can love you up? Thank you so much for doing that. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. It was fantastic. Just wonderful, just wonderful, just wonderful. And once again, I want to thank NTCSL Colorado for gathering together in service and sharing enlightenment together. What a joy, what a joy. Thank you again also to our online moderator, Carol Scott, and practitioner, Cindy Gomez. I'd like to invite our practitioners here in the sanctuary to come down forward to join me for our closing prayer. And those of you online, just know that the practitioners will be in a private breakout room, and they are going to be available for prayer for you as well. I know some of our artisans are going downstairs to prepare for the artisan fair downstairs. And again, just remember, there's our wonderful welcome table if you have any more questions. So I'm going to invite you to please stand as you are able. And Barbara, come on up here. Would you join me? Thank you, love, love, love. What a blessing to be together. Spiritual community is good, yes? Yes. Oh, and I celebrate your enlightenment this week, moment by moment, breath by breath. May you go in the light, as the light, and with the light until we meet again. May the longtime sun shine upon you, all love surround you, and the pure light within you guide you on your way. You are so loved. Have a good week. Mwah.
I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life. And my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith, I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm